Alright, what's up y'all? Welcome back to the Foxbody Junkie YouTube channel. I'm Brandon, and today we're going to be working on the 86 GT T-Top project car again. So I went ahead in the last video, I got the engine bay painted, turned out pretty good. And then what I had to do from there, like I said, is I needed to get the bottom side of the hood painted. So I went ahead, got the bottom side of the hood painted, and I actually got a couple other things done too. I'll show you guys on camera. I think they turned out pretty cool. Yeah, let me just turn the camera around, show you what I'm working with and what the game plan is moving forward. Alright, there we go. Engine bay still looks fresh. Went ahead and got the prop rod painted, and like I said, we got the bottom side of the hood painted. We left the inside black. I did kind of touch it up because it wasn't looking too nice. Sorry, camera's having a really hard time focusing. Oh, there we go. Sun must have been playing tricks. So, but it turned out good. We got, you know, all the hood hinge stuff painted and all that with the engine bay, and that looks pretty good. Only downside sometimes whenever you paint the hinges is when the paint is wet, it'll actually kind of rest right there, and so it kind of pulled the paint whenever the hood's up. So we'll go back with a little paint touch-up brush. This same thing on this one, just a little bit of you know, pulled the paint a little bit on the edge. So we'll go back with probably like a little paint touch-up brush if that bothers us too much, but nothing we can't handle. Did go ahead and get the lower radiator support. It is not bolted in, but it's just test fit in place. I need to drill the holes and stuff to go ahead and bolt it in, but it is kind of sitting there, so that's good. That all fit up well. Means our frame rails are somewhat straight at least. And yeah, this thing it's got a totally different vibe now with the you know, freshly painted engine bay and the bottom side of the hood being done. Doing the outline in red totally just made it all come together. But what do we need to do moving forward? Well, a lot. But what's the game plan for right now? So right now, I need to get the steering rack put in place. Got to get the tie rod ends and stuff done, and I'm going to do new ball joints. So I guess this video will kind of be addressing kind of most of the suspension and the steering stuff. I'd like to get all of that done and get the shocks and get the springs put back in it. That way it can be a true roller. Right now I've just got the wheels bolted to the spindles and kind of sitting there. So, but yeah, so let's go ahead and let's start getting some stuff cleaned up and get at it. Okay, so this is why we're replacing these ball joints. They are more than likely the original ones to the car and just need replaced. So I've got a Harbor Freight ball joint press tool. It works, however, this really needs to be longer. I've done this a couple times over the years, and no matter what I do, I've tried all different kinds of combinations, but this is just too long to fit everything inside of this area. So what I do is I actually cut off all of the threads. So I'll take this little cutting tool and I'll cut basically right here before the threads start, and then that'll give me enough room to kind of stack all of this stuff up. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. I'm going to cut that off, and then I'll get everything kind of stacked up and show you guys what works on this particular kit, and then I'll go ahead and press them out of there. Okay, so this is kind of what works on this particular kit. You got your main body here, and then it's a little sleeve here, I guess. Kind of looks like this, but it's just flat like that. And then you got this piece on here. It kind of tucks up on that, and then I don't do anything right here, but you got this piece, and then it sits inside of there. So, and then once you thread this down, it'll push it out. So, see if I can set you guys up and you can watch that. All right, hopefully that angle is good. so taking it out, it's kind of the easy part. Putting it back in, well, that can be kind of a pain in the butt. But there you go. One old ball joint, nasty crusty boot. So stack up again, goes like this. There's a part number, I guess, if you want. And then that one, put it in there, and use this one on the top. Set it down in there, and once you cut off this stud or the threads, it gives you plenty of room to kind of put that all in there. So that's that. I'm gonna go ahead and get this control arm cleaned up, get some fresh black paint on here, and then once we're done with that, we'll go ahead and try to press this other one back in here. All right, so got our new ball joint here. This is actually a SN95 ball joint, since we're gonna be running SN95 spindles anyhow. So figured might as well go ahead and put SN95 ball joints in. If I can get the boot past the thing here. Should not be this hard. There we go. See, sometimes stuff just spikes you for no reason. Okay, so one thing to note, make sure you point your cotter pin where you can get to it a little bit easier, at least. So sometimes it don't matter, but we're gonna go ahead and let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and put it this way. Okay, like I was saying, we're gonna go ahead and put ours where we can get to the cotter pin right there. So stack up is gonna be this guy, Maddox number 9, and this will kind of sit right here. And then this is gonna go on the bottom. However, like I said, your stack up might be a little bit different. These ball joints, I wish this cup fit a little bit better on here, so it would kind of go in a little bit straighter. So we'll just kind of have to watch it as it goes in. So make sure that it's going into everything straight. Because if they start going in crooked, it's not a good time. Alright, cool. Take this. There. Give it a good look, make sure everything looks pretty straight on the bottom going in. Ours looks a little tilted. Sometimes they'll straighten themselves out. Let's just start pressing this one in. See how it does. A little bit of WD-40 never hurt anybody. probably have to, once you get pretty close to the top, you'll have to get your breaker bar or jack handle or something. So I can already see it's wanting to.
You know what, this water is spraying my wheel, right?
All right, went ahead, got our ball joints pressed in there as you guys saw. Went ahead and took some just rattle can black and made that all brand new again. And yeah, so that'll look pretty good. Like I said, always good to do new ball joints, especially on these. So this is kind of what I was talking about. Just kind of do like a fresh coat of black down here. And I think that looks perfectly fine. Kind of stopped it even on both sides on the motor mounts. That way we got a little bit of paint showing, but yeah, and got that side done too. So now we're all ready to get the steering rack put in here. Get all the, I did buy new inner and outer tie rod ends, so I was able to get the steering rack cleaned up. It looks pretty good for an old Ford one. So I don't even know what car that came out of, but I've had it for a long time, so I figure why not use it on this? Those steering racks are getting expensive. But I did go ahead and order new inner and outer tie rod ends for that, so we'll be able to have all brand new stuff there. I went ahead and ordered new sway bar end links for it, and we'll go ahead and repaint the sway bar and put that in here. And yeah, we'll get the springs. The shocks were good KYBs, and we'll just go ahead and clean those up already and get everything cleaned up so we can get this thing back to being a roller again. So let's keep at it. All right, so next day here, went ahead and I've gotten quite a bit of work done. Went ahead and got the spindles put on, the springs put in, got the struts all put on, the top hats all painted and all that stuff, and got the steering rack put in. It's basically, the suspension is pretty much ready to go. So I'll go ahead and turn the camera around, let you guys look at it, and let me know what you think. All right, so starting off with the steering rack, went ahead and put new bushings in it, put new inner and outer tie rod ends on it, put both a brand new high pressure line and the low pressure return line on it. Those are both new. The boots were in good shape, so we reused those and they look pretty good. Went ahead and refinished the sway bar, just a simple flat black to kind of match the K-member and the control arms. Nothing too crazy. Moving into here, I know, elephant in the room, this looks like shit, I understand. This will be, I'm going to go ahead and wait until I bleed the brakes and all that. Make sure I don't have any issues with these calipers before I paint them. And once we know that we are good on that front, I'll go ahead and I'll disconnect everything and we'll put a fresh coat of paint on this and we'll touch up these rotors. So, and once I can get this spinning and make sure the brakes work, I can kind of clean off the rotor as well so it'll look a little bit better. Like I said, went ahead and put new inner and outer tie rod ends on here. So these are both new. Put new sway bar end link bushings on it. These are, I threw a set of Eibach springs that I had laying around in there, and these are the KYB struts. Now, if you got a keen eye, you might notice that we have a fuel line in here now as well. Went ahead and put the EFI fuel line through here before I did any of that stuff, because trying to wrestle with this fuel line, getting it in, would have been not as much fun as it already wasn't. So, but yeah, so got that all done, and the other side looks the same. Go ahead and show it to you guys. So looks the same. You know, not bad for, you know, just kind of throwing it together. I'll say it didn't really spend a bunch of time trying to make sure everything was perfect and super nice, but we did go ahead and refinish the top hats just with a semi-gloss black, and I think it turned out halfway decent. So moving on from here, I want to start working on getting the brake lines cleaned up, getting the booster cleaned up, the master cylinder and all that stuff, and then get that stuff kind of put in place, and then maybe work on getting the radiator support kind of ironed out if we have time for today. So, but with that being said, this is kind of a quick update. I'll let you guys know if I get anything else done. Okay, so we were able to get our brake booster refinished. If you guys remember, the brake lines were actually painted black at some point in time, so that took me quite a while to get all of the black paint stripped off of those lines. They are bare metal now. So what I'll do is typically get them to where they look pretty good with like a Scotch-Brite or something like that, and some steel wool, and then I go ahead and clear coat them. That way they don't oxidize anymore. I did kind of, where it has the like protective sleeving over it, I did have to kind of paint those silver just because it was really tough to get all the black paint in between there off. So, however, I think it looks pretty good, all things considered. Oh yeah, the proportioning valve was all black as well, and went ahead and painted that up gold, and kind of touched up the fittings that are going to go into the master cylinder, painted those as well. So, and then coming over here, went ahead and refinished our brass little union, and just hooked up all of the lines for the brakes and everything in there. Excuse me. Yeah, I think it looks pretty good. All right, y'all. Went ahead and got the master cylinder cleaned up. That's actually the one that was already on the car. We just gave it a fresh coat of paint and went ahead and cleaned up the cap and gave that a good coat of paint too. So that looks pretty good. Moving on after that, we went ahead and got our radiator support put in place here. I'm going to be honest. Yes, I guess it's nice that you can bolt your lower radiator support on and off. However, if I was to do it again, I would just weld it on. About halfway through, I was actually debating on just welding it on because it would have been a whole lot easier. But yeah, so it's on there. You can kind of, if you look at an original radiator support, they actually kind of sit a little bit in front of the upper, and I tried to mimic that with that. This is kind of adjustable. You can more so scoot it forward or back, at least all the way up to the front of the frame rail there. So yeah, all in all, I think it looks pretty good. I think we got a lot of work done in this video. This is the stuff that it just takes time if you kind of care about what all this is going to look like. Yeah, you could just throw it all back in there dirty, or you know, whatever, but you know, I think doing the little stuff like this is what makes the big picture come all together. So anyways, I don't want to rant too long on that. I appreciate y'all for watching, and appreciate all y'all for subscribing and making the comments and all that stuff. It means a lot to me, and you know, we're just going to keep on trying to grow the channel. So if you could drop a like, maybe share the video, leave a comment, all that stuff helps. I appreciate y'all for watching. We'll see you in the next one.